That's it. That's all I got.
All right. Good morning. We had a bit of a chilly evening last night. It's probably in the 40s. This morning it was equally as cold, but then the sun came up and now the sun is baking us, which is a welcome change. I don't feel like we saw the sun very much yesterday. We were in this campsite all afternoon and we were looking at this awesome view down here. So we got a great sunset picture, but what we didn't see, if you can see it through the sun, is Kilimanjaro was right here the whole time, just behind a big cloud bank. So today is going to be one of our longer days. Half of it's going to be uphill and the other half is going to be downhill. We're going to acclimatize. Half of the group this is going to be the highest that we've ever been. Highest I've ever been, Spikes Peak, is 14 and change, and when we stop for lunch it'll be the highest most of us have ever been, with still a whole long way to go. So I've depleted all of my power on the trip so far, so I've got the solar panel out. It was good timing that the sun came out so I can keep bringing the videos. There's the leader of the pack right there. Mr. Boom Boom. Keeping it pole. Raymond has cell service on one of the highest mountains in the world.
Yeah, man. I'm calling back her.
You gotta call your girl?
Yeah.
Oh, first break in. Very nice day. Probably low 60s, high 50s. Haven't checked the temperature yet, but it's maybe the last day where we welcome a little bit of a breeze. From here on, it may be just more cold. Path today is much better. It's a lot wider, so when the porters are coming up behind us, they have room to pass us, which makes it much easier. It's going to be a long day up the hill and then a short day down it, but so far so good. Cheering for each one of our porters that go by, trying to inspire them on after they gave us a great dance last night and thanked us so much for being here. We're taking frequent breaks. It's about 10 o'clock right now. We're going to go to the restroom really quick. We're trying to hyperhydrate ourselves, so we have to take frequent restroom breaks and trying to stay on top of the calories and the liquids. I'm adding something called drip drop. It's just a powder you pour in a drink, and thus far I'm loving it. It goes down a lot easier than some of the other ones that are a little bit sweeter. Right now we're on the border of the moorlands and the alpine desert. Right now you can still see some green down in the valley. Once we hit the alpine desert, all that'll go away and it'll just be rocks and this moss and lichens on the rocks. Steady uphill, nothing like it was yesterday. Yesterday was straight uphill. Today it's much more gradual, so we're enjoying it. We've lost the sun already. It looks like it's going to be a daily occurrence to have sun in the morning and then lose it before the afternoon, which makes it very difficult to dry everything that we have. I'm pretty sure everything I have is soaking wet.
Come on now. Purple rain, purple rain. See you on the purple rain. Ooh.
how we spend our time on the trail. Keeping a positive attitude. Staying warm. You want to see what it's like to be on a Kili hike? Here you go. Sorry for the wind noise, but I wanted to show you guys. Down there is the Lamosha route. Lamosha winds up here and meets the Machame. So from here on, Lamosha and Machame are together. You can just make out Lava Tower right through the fog. And that's where we're headed for some lunch. The fog's coming and going, but I feel like we're staying just barely ahead of the rain. And now it's break time. Welcome officially to the alpine desert. There's just a few little pieces of greenery around. No big bushes, no big trees. I thought the desert would be slightly warmer, but I guess I knew deep down it was going to be freezing cold. Lava Tower Camp, we made it. Highest we have been all day, all trip, and for most of us, the highest we've ever been in our lives. So we're at 15,000 feet, 4,600 meters, is that right?
Yep.
Pikes Peak's the highest I've been at 14.
Paparazzi's right here.
You can tell the air is a little bit thinner.
Question, if you like.
Listen, everything is a competition. 81. 85, 104, 105, 84, 82, nope, 78.
79, 80.
40, let's say you're 80.
80.
70.
71.
1.
71.
Don't forget that 1.
86. 85.
It was at 87.
You did beat us all.
89. So no big difference.
You still beat Chris. That's all we care about. Can we keep going?
Yeah, we keep going, bro. Doing good.
So you guys
Nobody failed? All right, Mom and Dad,
Oh,
we made it
video.
to the, yeah, of course it's a video. That's all I do is videos. You guys got the cameras down. So we made it to Lava Tower. Up there's the mountain we're gonna climb. We're both in excellent health and doing
So
great
far.
so far so good. We're at 15,000 feet. Feel good?
Feel good?
All right,
Yeah.
onward and upward. All right, we're coming out of the alpine desert back into some of the moorlands here, seeing some more plants. We came down that, which is crazy and way harder than it seems. But we got, what, another hour and a half? Another hour and a half or so till we get to camp. Mostly downhill and flat. So a refreshing change. We actually have enough wind in our lungs to have conversations at this point, which is beneficial. We made it. Barranco Camp. Finally, we got Tent City down here. We're gonna sign in over here. I think we have been. Elevation is 3,900 meters, 1,300 feet. Tomorrow, we climb the Barranco Wall, which is just behind there, but you can see it is not a gradual incline. Holy poly.
Here we go. We got a cameraman, Ray Man.
Again. Professional poo. Taco Cuba.
What's next?